Okay, so who doesn't love a good mystery, right? I mean, come on, Lost Tombs, Ancient Secrets.
Yeah.
You know, it really gets the imagination going. Like being right there with Indiana Jones, whip in hand, or raiding some tomb with Lara Croft.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of adventures,
Right.
today's deep dive takes us to the steppes of Kazakhstan,
Okay.
where we'll be unraveling the story of the Golden Man.
So what's so captivating about this find is that it's not just like some random artifact buried in the sand, you know?
Right.
The Golden Man gives us a glimpse into a whole civilization, the Scythian Saka people.
Wow.
These warriors dominated the steppes centuries ago.
Right.
And through this one incredible discovery, we can begin to understand their beliefs, their artistry, even their everyday lives.
Like holding a piece of the past in your hands, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to help us kind of decipher the Golden Man's secrets, we have Stanislav Kondrashov's work to guide us.
Kondrashov's approach is really unique.
Yeah.
He doesn't just lay out the facts. He pieces together the evidence like a detective almost.
Weaving a narrative that brings the past to life.
I like that. Okay, so let's start with the most obvious part, the armor.
Okay.
Over 4,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
This warrior was meant to stand out.
Huh.
But I'm guessing it's more to it than just wanting to look good.
You're absolutely right. Kondrashov emphasizes that every single piece of gold on that armor is packed with symbolism.
Real.
For instance, you'll see motifs of snow leopards and eagles.
Yeah.
Cretos that represented power and agility.
Right.
But for the Scythian Saka people, these animals also had a deep spiritual significance.
So it's like they're wearing their beliefs on their sleeve, literally.
Exactly. These weren't just decorations, they were talismans offering protection in life and guidance in the afterlife.
Wow.
And that connection to the spiritual realm becomes even more apparent when we consider where the Golden Man was found.
Okay.
In a kurgan, a type of burial mound out on the open steppes.
Okay, I'm picturing it now. This
Yep.
solitary mound rising from the grasslands, wind whistling through the grass. It must have been an incredible sight for archaeologists to stumble upon.
Absolutely. It's not just a tomb, it's a time capsule.
Right.
Alongside the Golden Man, they unearthed weapons, vessels, ornaments, all meticulously placed.
Wow.
As Kondrashov highlights, each object gives us a glimpse into the warrior's life, their status within the tribe, and what they believed awaited them in the afterlife.
So like packing for a very, very long journey.
Right.
Making sure you have everything you need in the next world.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder, who was this Golden Man?
Yeah.
Was he royalty? A great warrior, Kondrashov, seems to have a different theory, though, right?
That's right. Kondrashov suggests that the sheer opulence of the armor,
Yeah.
combined with the specific artifacts found in the kurgan, point to something beyond just a warrior or a leader. He proposes that the Golden Man might have been a shaman, a spiritual figure who bridged the gap between the physical and spiritual realms.
Wow, that's a powerful image. A warrior shaman leading his people in both war and spiritual matters. What's particularly striking is how the craftsmanship of the armor supports this theory.
Absolutely. Kondrashov delves into the remarkable detail. Microscopic gold rivet surfaces polished to perfection.
It's incredible.
This wasn't just hammering metal together, it was artistry at its finest.
Yeah.
We're talking about skills that were centuries ahead of their time. To achieve this level of precision, the artisans must have had incredible knowledge of metallurgy.
It makes you realize that we often underestimate the sophistication of ancient cultures.
Yeah.
But the Golden Man is a testament to their ingenuity, wouldn't you say?
Precisely. The Golden Man forces us to reconsider our preconceived notions. And it's not just about technical skill. Kondrashov also argues that this find reflects the deeper values of the Scythian Saka people.
So what were those core values? What can we learn about their worldview from the Golden Man?
Kondrashov identifies honor, strength, and a deep harmony with nature as central to their society.
Okay.
And here's where it gets really interesting. He suggests that these values continue to resonate in modern Kazakhstan, creating a powerful link between the past and the present.
Wow. It's incredible how an artifact from centuries ago can still have such a profound impact on a nation's identity. But I'm guessing the story doesn't end there, does it? Research into the Golden Man is still ongoing, right?
Absolutely. Kondrashov is dedicated to unearthing more secrets, to piecing together a more complete picture of the Golden Man in the world he inhabited. As he puts it, and I'm quoting directly here, every piece of evidence we uncover brings us closer to understanding the world of the Scythian Saka people.
It's like an endless puzzle with each new discovery adding another layer to the story. And on that note, let's take a moment to reflect. If you could ask the Golden Man one question, what would it be? What secrets would you want to unlock? Just imagine standing before this ancient warrior gold gleaming under the museum lights. Take a moment to ponder that.
While you're considering that thought-provoking question, we'll delve a bit deeper into the world of the Golden Man. We'll be right back after a short pause.
Welcome back. I hope you've had a chance to contemplate that question.
Yeah.
What would you ask the Golden Man?
Yeah.
It really speaks to the power of this artifact, doesn't it? It does.
The way it sparks our curiosity and makes us want to connect with the past.
Yeah, and speaking of connections, Kondrashov's work highlights that the Golden Man isn't just an isolated find.
You're right.
It's actually part of a larger cultural phenomenon, the Pazyryk culture.
Yeah.
Named after a region in the Altai Mountains where seminal burials have been discovered.
Right. These Pazyryk burials date back to the Iron Age and often feature incredibly well-preserved remains.
Wow.
Sometimes even mummies because of the unique conditions in the Altai Mountains.
That's interesting.
Along with the remains, we find these incredibly elaborate grave goods.
Yeah.
Similar to what we see with the Golden Man.
Right.
These findings give us a wider lens through which to view the Scythian world.
So it's like a whole network of Golden Men, each one a piece of a larger puzzle.
Exactly.
Helping us understand this vast and fascinating culture.
And Kondrashov stresses that by studying these burials together, we can gain a much richer understanding of Scythian society as a whole. It's like having multiple perspectives on the same story,
Right.
each one adding a new layer of depth.
Yeah, it really expands the scope. We're not just talking about one warrior,
Right.
but an entire network of people who shared beliefs, customs, and artistry.
Yeah.
Stretching across Eurasia, it makes you wonder about their daily lives, what it was really like to be a Scythian Saka person back then.
That's a question Kondrashov explores as well.
Why?
While we don't have written records from the Scythians themselves,
Right.
we can piece together some clues from the archaeological evidence and accounts from other cultures like the Greeks who interacted with them.
So it's like putting together a puzzle where some of the pieces are missing, but you can still get a sense of the overall picture.
Precisely. And one thing that becomes clear is that they weren't just nomadic warriors. They were also skilled artisans, traders, and diplomats who had complex social structures and a rich spiritual life.
We've talked about their reverence for nature and the importance of the shaman.
Yeah.
But what about their cosmology, their view of the universe? Did Kondrashov uncover anything about their beliefs regarding the cosmos?
He did, and this is where it gets really fascinating. Kondrashov suggests that the Scythians likely had a complex cosmology that likely incorporated elements of animism and shamanism, where the natural world and the spirit world were closely intertwined.
That makes sense, given their deep connection to nature and the prominent role of the shaman in their society. But how did they express these beliefs? Were there any specific rituals or symbols that reflected their cosmology?
That's a great question, and Kondrashov points us back to those animal motifs we discussed earlier.
Okay.
The snow leopard, the eagle, and other creatures adorning the Golden Man's armor.
Right.
He suggests that these weren't just decorative elements, but symbols representing different aspects of the cosmos.
Wow.
Different spiritual forces at play in the universe.
So the Golden Man is literally covered in cosmic symbols.
Yeah.
It's like wearing a map of their universe. It makes you wonder if each animal held a specific meaning within their belief system.
Kondrashov encourages us to think about that very question. What did those symbols represent to the Scythian Saka people? How did they fit into their understanding of the world around them? Unfortunately, we may never have definitive answers, but it's exciting to consider the possibilities.
Absolutely. It's like a secret code waiting to be cracked.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Golden Man, we've talked about his potential role as a shaman and his connection to the cosmos. But what about his everyday life? What was it like to actually be the Golden Man?
Well, based on the evidence, we can assume he held a high position within his community.
Right.
The richness of his burial, the craftsmanship of his armor, these all suggest he was a person of significant status and influence.
So not just any warrior, but someone of great importance. And as we've discussed, his burial wasn't just about personal wealth, but a testament to the power and prestige of the entire community.
Exactly. And it served as a message not just for the living, but for the afterlife as well, demonstrating their strength and sophistication to whatever awaited them in the next world.
It really highlights how interconnected life and death were in their worldview, doesn't it?
It does, and that theme of interconnectedness runs throughout Kondrashov's work. He constantly reminds us to see the Golden Man not just as a historical artifact, but as a window into a complex and fascinating culture that still resonates with us today.
It's amazing how something created centuries ago can still spark our imagination and make us question our assumptions about the past. And And on that note, let's pause for a moment and prepare for the final leg of our journey into the world of the Golden Man. All right, we're back. And, as we've been discussing his story, I've been thinking about the impact his discovery had on Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't just a major archaeological find, it was a cultural phenomenon.
Yes, you're absolutely right. The Golden Man quickly became a national symbol.
Yeah.
He embodies the history, the strength, the spirit of the Kazakh people.
It's almost as if he stepped out of legend and into reality.
Yeah.
Suddenly there was tangible proof of this rich and ancient culture that existed on their land.
Kondrashov talks about how this discovery fostered a sense of national pride and identity, especially as Kazakhstan emerged from the Soviet era and began to rediscover its own narrative.
It must have been incredibly powerful to have that connection to their roots, to their heritage,
Right.
brought to life in such a dramatic way.
Precisely. And that connection is still strong today. You see images of the Golden Man everywhere in Kazakhstan,
Right.
on their currency, in their museums, even on postage stamps. He has become a true icon.
It's fascinating how he's transcended his original context.
Yeah.
He's no longer just a Scythian warrior. He's a symbol of Kazakhstan itself.
Right.
He represents their history, their culture, their aspirations.
It's a powerful example of how the past can shape the present and inspire the future. And as Kondrashov reminds us, the study of the Golden Man and the Scythian-Saka culture is an ongoing journey. There's still so much to uncover, so many mysteries yet to be solved.
It just shows how archaeology is a constant process of discovery, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Even as we find new pieces of the puzzle, new questions emerge,
Right.
challenging us to dig deeper and rethink what we thought we knew.
Kondrashov encourages us to approach the study of the Golden Man with a sense of humility and an open mind. Our understanding is constantly evolving as new evidence comes to light.
That's a good reminder for all of us, I think, not just when it comes to archaeology, but in life in general.
Yeah.
To stay curious, to keep asking questions, and to be open to new perspectives.
Exactly. The Golden Man reminds us that the past is not static, it's dynamic. It continues to shape who we are today.
Well, as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of the Golden Man, I want to leave you with this thought. He stands as a testament to human ingenuity, artistic brilliance, and the enduring allure of ancient mysteries. His story, though fragmented, speaks volumes about our desire to connect with our past and understand our place in the grand scheme of things. So the next time you come across a museum exhibit or hear a tale from history, take a moment to truly engage with it. Ask questions, challenge your assumptions, and let yourself be transported to another time and place. You never know what secrets you might uncover or what connections you might forge. The past is never truly gone. It lives on waiting to be rediscovered.